Hey guys, and my name is Emma, and on this video I am going to talk about the difference between taking responsibility for something and blaming yourself, and also doing that with other people. My name is Emma, and what I do is I help people to clear the deep emotional wounds that hold them back from fully stepping into their purpose, so they can take the inspired, aligned and committed action to make their dreams and their purpose a reality, to start living their purpose and start lighting up the world. That's what I'm really passionate about. And one of the major blocks that I see with people that I work with, and that I saw in myself as well, was the whole inner critic. That little voice inside you that says, oh my God, I'm not good enough. That little voice that shames you, that puts you down. It's not your friend. It's just kind of shaming you all the time and criticizing everything you do. And a big part of that inner critic for a lot of people is blaming. I know it was for me. And I know there's a bit of confusion between the difference between blaming and taking responsibility for something. So with blame, you are basically saying it's all your fault, you did it, and you're putting shame on that person. So if you're blaming yourself, you're saying, oh my God, I'm such a bad person, I'm a terrible person. And that's what shame is. Shame is making you wrong. It's not just about what you did, and that's guilt, but it's actually saying there's something wrong with me because I've done this thing has happened, I'm a bad person, I'm terrible, and then it can just spiral down, I'm not worthy, all of those things. It feeds into all those beliefs. So that's blame. This is the blame. Now so as you can see, when you're blaming yourself, you are making yourself a victim. You are making yourself like, oh my God, I'm so weak, I'm so stupid, and you're a victim to the world. You give your power away to someone else, and it means that you make yourself small. So from that place, it's really difficult to take action on things, to move forward with things when you're shaming yourself. Just like what a bully does. When you shame yourself, you're kind of hiding away in a corner, and you're just telling yourself, oh, something is wrong with me. So it just makes you want to hide away. And this is what I see happening with a lot of people who want to get their purpose out there. They're blaming and shaming themselves all the time and wondering why they can't, why it's not happening for them, because they have these really deep-seated beliefs that they're not enough, that they keep feeding with shame and blaming themselves. So this is blame, and I think it's really common in our culture. We're always blaming things. It's the government, it's my mother, it's my father, it's my fault, and this is really different energy. It's like the shaming energy, making something wrong. There's no solution there. There's no looking for how you can resolve this problem with blame. But when you take responsibility for something, it's a much higher vibration. So it's like you're stepping forward and you're saying, right, I created this. How can I change it? So you're not saying, I'm such a bad person, I'm so terrible, I've done this thing. You're just saying, right, so I made a mistake. I've done something that maybe in retrospect might not be a good thing, but I'm human. People make mistakes all the time. So you're focusing on how to resolve the problem with responsibility, whereas with shame, you are just putting yourself down, you're squashing it down, you're making yourself small, and you're making yourself helpless. Whereas responsibility, when you take responsibility for your life, you are empowering yourself to take action, to change things in your life, to create something new. It's more solution focused, whereas blame is just, criticizing, critiquing, finding what's wrong, it's not about looking forward, it's not about finding the future, it's not about changing things, moving things forward. You're just focusing on what's wrong. So what we want to get to move forward with our purpose is to get to a place of responsibility, and this requires building up your self-esteem. And building up your self-esteem, you need to kind of soothe yourself, tell yourself nice things, stop shaming yourself. Notice when you shame yourself, just become aware. So if you tell yourself you do something wrong, you're playing your ukulele or your musical instrument, or you're singing, or you do something wrong, rather than saying to yourself, oh my God, I'm so stupid, just stop that. Don't say that to yourself. That is shaming yourself. And that might have been something that you heard from your parents, and now recognize that you can parent yourself now and you want to change that voice. So rather than telling yourself that you're stupid, say, okay, that was a mistake. How can I change that? So you're reframing it totally. And everybody makes mistakes, no matter how successful you are. In fact, the more successful you are in life, the more mistakes you're going to make. You cannot be successful without making mistakes. It's like learning a language. I speak a few different languages, and trust me, you cannot learn a language unless you make mistakes. And the people who are afraid of making mistakes do not learn well. They're afraid of learning, they're afraid of growing, they're afraid of making mistakes, and they never learn that language. And it's the same with life. If you are so afraid of making mistakes because you're shaming yourself when you make mistakes, you are never going to grow. You are stopping yourself from becoming all you can be and owning your purpose, owning your potential. So what I want to encourage you to do here today, notice when you're blaming yourself and stop that and switch it to taking responsibility. Are you shaming yourself? Are you belittling yourself? Are you making yourself small? Is that the voice that you would talk to if you were talking to a young child? If you were your best friend, would you talk to yourself like that? And if you wouldn't, you've got to change, start becoming conscious of it and change that voice. So I know people think, oh my God, it's a habit, it's totally unconscious, but habit is something that you do that you're not conscious of. Once you become conscious of it and you're aware of what you're doing, you can't call that a habit anymore. That becomes a choice, and that choice is something that you can change and something that you can take charge of in your life and you can use to bring more purpose, more power, more success, and more responsibility in your life. Really successful people, they take responsibility. They don't shame themselves. So stop shaming yourself, and take responsibility for your life. Give yourself the power to change your life, and that will make all the difference.